Hey everybody, this is Out of Continues, episode 241. This is a weekly podcast posted up every Monday on outofcontinues.com as an MP3, in which we talk about video games related topics. And it goes up before that on youtube.com/outofcontinues as a video where you see myself. I am the host, Staffa, for those of you new to the show. And I have different guest hosts with me each week. This week I have Adam with me.
What's going on?
Not much, homie. And this week's episode segments, we're going to talk about our top 5 favorite Dreamcast games. That will be our main topic of discussion. After that, we got some quick announcements and news. So, one quick disclaimer before we get going with our main discussion is that all opinions expressed on the show are of our own and not of our employers, whether past, present, or future. Bam! Hashtag hire Staffa. So let's talk about our main topic, top 5 Dreamcast games, our favorite Dreamcast games. And Adam and I both have a list of games to talk about. We have 5 games listed off, but we also have a few more backup games listed off just in case we have some crossover, which we will. We will have crossover because there's like 20 Dreamcast games total. Not that joke isn't as funny the second time around.
No, not at all.
But it's the first time for the listeners.
Yep.
So there's gonna be some crossover over our list. So we got some extras, just so we have other games to talk about. So Adam, since you're the guest of the show, would you like to go first again?
Sure. I'll go first again. I don't know how that works, but okay. Anyway, the first game on my list is Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Whoa.
I know, shocker, right?
Why is that game on your list?
I really like the art style in the game. It was just, to me, it's my favorite fighting game. I had the most fun with Marvel vs. Capcom 2. All the characters in it, the character selection is just ridiculous. And
how many characters on there? Like 70 characters or something?
Something stupid like that. I really liked it. I mean,
they even had 2 Wolverines.
Right. One of them like Bone Claw, another one was like Adamantium Claw or something like that.
I think so. And the Bone Claw one had longer claws.
Yeah, I'm not real sure how that works, but okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. But
Capcom.
Yep. Capcom.
I think you really like that game mainly because of the clown stage. No?
No.
Is that not it?
No, that's not it.
Because I'm pretty sure you had like a whole like clown thing going on back in high school.
Get out of here.
No?
No.
That wasn't a thing? Is my memory foggy? There was no wicked clowns going around? Okay. All right. So we'll go into my first game. Unless you have anything else you want to say about Marvel vs. Capcom?
Nope. I've already said a bunch about it, and it's lost to the ether. So
yeah. Let's talk about a game that we both enjoy called Sega Bass Fishing.
Do enjoy me some Sega Bass Fishing.
Yep. And you got to put a little asterisk on there. Include the fishing reel.
That's right. Because if you ain't got a fishing reel, then it's not on the list.
Yeah, like, don't you have to like spin the analog stick or something?
To play it without the reel.
Yeah, I think I've played only once without the fishing reel, and then I immediately went to eBay and bought a fishing reel. I think that's how the story goes. I'm not too sure, but either way.
Your story and you're sticking to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean
I'll
that game's
still
just really fun.
I'll still probably go play it when we get done with this recording if we make it through it this time.
Hmm. I mean, like it's not like a accurate simulation of fishing. It's like an arcade
It's an arcade.
fishing.
Yeah, I mean they actually made arcades of it too, so it's literally an arcade game.
Yeah.
I mean, there were at least I played on two different arcade cabinets. I don't know about you played it on one that was completely different than that's your story and you're sticking to it.
I'm not sticking to anything.
You're not
No.
Spider-Man.
No. I'm not Spider-Man. I'm not Tobey Maguire.
Anyway, I played like a medium-sized one that had a little fishing reel that was kind of stationary, and then I played one that was like 3 foot long, and it was free. It had it on chains, so you couldn't take off with it. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
I just liked how the game was action packed. Like once you grab hold of a fish, like the screen has like those anime lines going left and right, and like the words are getting big, and the music's all crazy, and you're over there like
Right.
it's just awesome. Like that it gets all hyped and everything, even when you catch a small fish.
Right.
Yeah, makes you feel good. So yeah, that's definitely I think any person with a sound mind would have that on their list at least 3 times on their top 5 Dreamcast games.
Okay.
Accurate.
Sure.
So what's the next game on your list?
See if we can make it to it. Next game on my list is Ikaruga.
Oh, that is a game.
It's a top-down shooter, basic top-down shooter, but it had an added mechanic where you could switch between light and dark, where you could absorb the color of your ship, the bullets of your enemies. You could absorb that color,
Mm-hmm.
and you'd get hit by the opposite color. So if you were light and your enemy was shooting light bullets at you, you would absorb them. If they were dark bullets, you'd get hit and get damaged. Vice versa, if you were dark, you'd absorb the dark and get hit by the light. I mean,
And you also deal like extra damage when you have like the opposite color.
right. I mean, so it was a basic top-down shooter, but the added mechanics to it made it, I think it made it much more enjoyable. It made it more challenging.
Yeah. It was also a bullet hell game.
Oh yeah, oh definitely. And some of those bosses were awesome too. I mean, shooting both light and dark at you, so you had to like switch in between while shooting at them. So it was absolutely nuts, and I had an absolute ball with it.
Remember that one time we got to level 3?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't remember what level 3 was like, but I remember we got there and immediately died.
I mean, that's the thing. It was just it was so challenging, but it was so fun. It's like it was like Super Meat Boy. I absolutely love that game, but I absolutely hate that game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
it's like the Dark Souls of bullet hell games.
But yeah, I absolutely loved that game. I mean, when it came out on Steam, I'm pretty sure I bought it the day that it came out, or like that week.
I'm pretty sure I bought it when it came out on Xbox Live Arcade.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say that I owned it when it came out on GameCube.
I think I might have it on GameCube.
I absolutely love that game.
Yeah.
And graphically, it looks awesome too.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it
And
just
it's worth mentioning that this is developed by Treasure, who like just does a lot of other, hectic shoot 'em up or like arcade style action games. Like they did Gunstar Heroes, which was a action platformer, uh, kind of like Metal Slug type game where it's a side scrolling shooter.
yeah.
Um, and they also, I think, on Sega Saturn they made Radiant Silvergun, which is a shoot 'em up and similar to Ikaruga, but without the whole like black and white or dark and light mechanic. I never played Radiant Silvergun though,
Neither.
but apparently people really like it, and like Treasure is just really good at making those style games.
I half expected you to go. Treasure's really good at making treasures.
Come on now, that's too obvious.
I would have
Plus, I think I
reached
already used that
through.
joke on the podcast before.
Awful, terrible.
Don't hate.
Too late.
Don't hate. All right, next game.
Yep.
All right, Dead or Alive 2 is on my list. And for people who don't remember, Dead or Alive 1 was kind of dumb. Like, I did not like that game at all. Like, I'm pretty sure people only focused on that or only cared about that game for one reason.
What's
That
that?
is the really doofy physics. I mean, it was worse than Dead or Alive 1. It looks stupid. I mean, it's always been stupid, but it was.
It's always been stupid.
Yeah, it's always been stupid, but it was stupider in Dead or Alive 1.
What was it? Dead or Alive 4 when the ads for that she kicks high.
I think it was for 3
No, whatever. It doesn't matter.
because that was the one that was on Xbox, and that's when like it started getting a lot more popular.
Well, wasn't 4 only on Xbox?
360.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I meant. Whatever. It's the same thing. They're both Xboxes.
But Dead or Alive 2 was really fast paced. It had the whole like tag team thing going on, similar to Marvel vs. Capcom, but it was a 3D game, and like for a 3D game, I think it was like the fastest 3D fighting game gameplay that I
Right.
played. Especially when like you switch between your tag partner and try to continue a combo. It was just really fun, and I can't remember if 2 had environmental hazards or if they introduced that in 3. I think 2 had some, just not as much as 3 did.
I can't remember. It's been a while since I played 2.
Yeah,
It doesn't stand out as much to me as it does to you, but
I liked it. I had a lot of fun with it, and also it was just really cool that they had Ryu Hayabusa, and like you could select him in his Nintendo blue ninja outfit.
right.
So that was really cool. But I really like Dead or Alive 2. Next game on your list?
Let's see. Next game on my list is Phantasy Star Online.
Oh, that is a game.
I mean, I never played it online, so it was Phantasy Star offline for me because I don't play games online. But just, I don't like looking back. I don't know what caught my interest in it. Like I have no clue what made me go, what is this? And then pick it up and start playing. I just remember loving that game.
Isn't it like basically the console equivalent to the PC's Diablo for that time?
That could be why I liked it so much because I'm a big Diablo guy. I wasn't back then because I didn't have a PC. But I mean, just I could not tell you how many hours I dumped into that game. It just no clue.
I remember watching you play it, and the combat looked really slow, so I didn't get it.
Right.
I didn't like just from watching you play, I didn't get it. So I'm assuming it had like a lot to do with like the loot system, probably. Did it have a loot system?
Yes.
Yeah, so it probably had something to do with that made the game addictive.
Yeah. I'd imagine so.
I just remember watching you play and your character's like, "Zhoo, zhoo." And I'm like, to me, I'm thinking this doesn't look like fun combat. Like you're swinging your sword really slow, and
I do. I agree with you there. The combat in it is really slow, but I really liked it.
oh, I'm not saying it's a bad game because I didn't
No, I
play
know
it.
you're not.
That was just like what I thought when I watched you play back
No,
then.
and you're completely right. It does have really slow combat, but it hooked me.
I don't think I watched you play on Dreamcast, so I think I watched you play the GameCube version.
Yeah.
Was it the GameCube? Yeah,
Yes.
GameCube version. Okay, because like the Xbox version required online.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
Yep.
Okay. Sword of the Berserk. This is a game based off of the manga Japanese comic. It's based off the Japanese comic Berserk, which I didn't even know, until after I played the game. Like I played the game first, and then I liked it so much that I looked into what it was based off of, and then I realized that it was based off a Japanese comic, and that there was a short anime, and yeah, like this game, it came out before Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry, a lot of people give that credit to be, man, there's a little bug flying around my head and it is bothering me. But so if I look distracted, it's because of that. But anyways, a lot of people give that credit for like revitalizing the hack and slash, the 3D hack and slash genre, which I mean it did. It did do that for the 3D hack and slash genre, but this came out before and it was equally as impressive. It just didn't have as much exposure.
Right.
So a lot of people didn't know about it. And and it was really difficult. It was a very hard game. It was kind of a set up like an arcade where you had to beat the game in one run. That you can't save. And you had continues and lives, which is kind of weird because I don't think there was an arcade version of this game. And also had your whole Shenmue cutscenes or quick time events.
I don't know what you're talking about. What's Shenmue?
Shenmue? I don't know. Shenmue invented the quick time events. So I remember you called it a Shenmue action scene or something like that. I can't remember.
That sounds like something I would say back then.
Yeah, because that was before a quick time event was a thing.
What was a thing?
Yeah,
it was a Shenmue thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, but overall the gameplay, you have your giant Dragon Slayer sword, which is it makes Cloud's Buster sword look like little
needle.
It looks like makes it look like a needle. I mean, this Dragon Slayer sword, like this big, like 8-foot long slab of metal that you swing around, and it's so big that if you're swinging it next to a wall, it will clang against the wall, and you don't complete your swing. Unless you're in Berserk mode, which is basically like Devil Trigger mode, and then you can swing through the walls, but that rarely happens because you only get it like the meter fills up so slowly that you get like maybe a handful of times throughout the entire game. But it is a really difficult game. It is a very fun game. I mean, I think it's also worth mentioning that Dark Souls takes a lot of inspiration from Berserk as far as like um, both the thematically wise, it takes a lot of inspiration because Berserk has a lot of crazy, disgusting demons, and Dark Souls took that style. Like it's this whole medieval theme with crazy demons and stuff like that. Dark Souls took a lot of that, as well as like the gameplay, being very difficult. They slowed it down though. They focused it more on like um, an intimate combat rather than hack and slash. But Sword of the Berserk did have a lot of intimate battles, like within the first few minutes of the game, you're fighting a big boss that has his head on his hand or something dumb like that. Like the game just throws you in there. In fact, like seconds within the game, you're fighting a bunch of people ambushing you, and there's like no tutorial. It's like, here you are,
Have fun.
kill. But yeah, Sword of Berserk, definitely one of my top 5 favorite Dreamcast games. You liked it too, right?
From what I remember, I really liked it, but I can't. I've slept since then.
I remember your buddy Big Matt came over one day, and I was like, I was playing the game, and he was really interested, and I was like, this is the hardest boss fight in the game, and it's like in the middle of the game. It's not even the last boss. And he was like, "Yeah, let me try." And he like beat that boss in one try. And I was like, "Holy crap! Shame, shame, shame!" Ding ding. Yeah. Next game on your list.
Next game on my list is probably my favorite traditional style RPG, Grandia 2. From
So you mean like JRPG?
Yeah, I mean JR, whatever.
Okay.
It's traditional. That's where RPGs came from.
Are you sure about that?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
It is,
Most
according to
RPGs
me
come from
right now.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Who cares? Nah, I'm not talking about that style of RPG. I'm talking about games. Not board games. Not paper games.
Hey, most video game RPGs are based off of Dungeons and Dragons mechanics.
Adam's
Or
just
at least most Western RPGs.
right. Anyway, fine. My favorite JRPG, Grandia 2.
Okay.
Everything about it, the anime cutscenes, the music in it's awesome. The story, I guess, is awesome. Just another one of those things. I really loved that game. I bought it as soon as I seen it was available on Steam, and I played it, and I beat it. I love Grandia 2. I liked Grandia 3. Grandia was okay.
So for you, Grandia 2 was like your Final Fantasy 7, because like at that time everyone was all about that Final Fantasy 7.
Yes, and I think that Grandia 2 smashes Final Fantasy 7 from what I've played of Final Fantasy 7.
I'm not gonna go into Final Fantasy 7 because that would take up too much of the show.
You have another solo Staffa cast.
Yep. It was gonna be for a moment, but
I don't know what you're
technical
talking
difficulties.
about. Technical.
So we're on number 4, right?
Correct.
You know what? I liked me some Soul Calibur. I think that is definitely a top 5 game. I mean, you already said Ikaruga, so I gotta scratch that off. Yeah, Soul Calibur. Um, honestly, I think I'm probably like Dead or Alive 2 a little bit more. I mean, they're very different style.
Yeah.
But also in Dead or Alive 2 you can play 4-player, which was really cool.
Right.
But Soul Calibur, it's very similar to Tekken except with weapons. Um,
So it's better.
hmm?
So it's better.
Yeah, sure. And I mean, it looked great for a launch title. Like even years after the game has come out, it was still one of the best looking games on the Dreamcast.
Right.
It just looked really good. The gameplay was very fast and fluid compared to the previous Soul games. It was Soul Edge and Soul Blade. Um, and I mean, like Soul Calibur is to that series as Tekken 3 is to the Tekken series. That's where they really nailed it and made a solid system. And I liked a lot of things about the game. As far as the combat, and also had like a lot of single player content. Like it not only had like an arcade mode, but it had like this quest mode where it had
Yeah.
have like a map, and then you go to like different areas and you fight like different dudes, and it was really fun. I really like Soul Calibur, and one thing that very few people know is that you can play Soul Calibur with the Sega fishing reel, and it works. And I beat it with that. And for the people who are viewing and not, I mean, sorry, for the people that are listening and not viewing, Adam was shaking his head yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was there when you beat it, wasn't
I don't think so.
I? I remember
I
seeing
think
you play it somewhere. I think it was
I
over
think
my
I showed
place
it
you
off
played it.
before, but I had to I did it by myself to beat it on arcade mode. I think I also put on easy mode because it's not
Easy.
an easy thing to do. Like basically, like if you swing the fishing reel vertically, you do a vertical slash. If you swing it horizontally, you do a horizontal slash. And some diagonal direction is kick. Like it was very wonky. Like in a way, it was kind of like a primitive Wii
Motion
controller.
control. Yeah.
Yeah. So but that's a whole other thing on its own. But overall, the game is just excellent. Really good game. Uh, your next game.
My next game and my last game, it'll be no surprise to you. Shenmue. I mean, I don't even know where to start with this game.
Shenmue 3 is never gonna come out.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
He
Is
took,
this
he,
pay? This is pay. I know what this is.
he,
This
he
is
took he
payback.
took your money and left.
This is payback for Street Fighter 4, isn't it?
In fact, he took your money and hired Inafune to to finish the game up.
Anyway, I don't even know where to start with Shenmue. I mean, there's just so much to it. I don't really. I mean, I don't remember an open world game before that. There was just you could do basically anything in there. You could play arcades. You could do your quick time event arcade.
You could get a
Your
job.
Shenmue action, huh?
You could get a job.
You could get a job. You could drive a forklift. I mean, you could just arm wrestle. What was that in 2? I think it was in 1. I don't know. I loved Shenmue.
I think the
And
Shenmue movie is on Netflix.
is it?
I think I can check that real quick as you keep talking.
I just there's just so much to do in it, and it didn't really hold your hand. You just go. I mean, and when they announced it last year at E3, you got the fresh reaction out of Adam.
No, it's not on Netflix.
Well,
I thought I saw it somewhere.
But I mean, the people in the audience, their reaction to that was how I was completely marking out for it. I made a Kickstarter account just to support that game. If it wasn't for Shenmue 3, I would have never had a Kickstarter.
Shenmue.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see. Hopefully it does come out. Adam's not holding his breath, but hopefully. Shenmue. Loved it.
All right. I didn't really I played a little bit of Shenmue and I didn't know what I was doing. So yeah, like I played like an hour of it and I was knocking on everybody's door and then like asking them questions, and then it became nighttime, so people were yelling at me to leave them alone. So I don't know. I didn't really get far in that game at all. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, this is a weird game. Why does Adam love this so much?
Because it's weird.
So yeah. Let's see. I got a few. Which one of these should I pick from my honorable mentions?
I don't know. Pick one, then you can name off your honorable mentions when we're done talking about the ones that we're talking about.
Okay. I think Power Stone 2. Power Stone 2 is not a fighting game. It's in the same genre as Smash Brothers. It's a brawler. It's just I like Power Stone 2 more than Power Stone 1 because Power Stone 1 was one-on-one, and Power Stone 2 is like you could do 4-player free-for-all, or you can do teams, kind of like Smash Brothers. And it's just a fun, crazy game. I just love getting the power-ups and doing these crazy big moves, blasting the other 3 players, or getting big weapons, or getting inside a tank and just blasting the other players. It's just goofy fun. It's kind of like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It's not a balanced game, or it's not about the skill, but it's just about like doing these big, crazy, goofy attacks on each other.
Right.
And I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was usually one of my go-to games when I had 3 people visiting, and we're all playing some Dreamcast together. So yeah, that's my top 5 games: Sega Bass Fishing, Sword of the Berserk, Dead or Alive 2, Soul Calibur, and Power Stone 2. And I had to kick off Ikaruga because you listed it off.
I'm sorry.
So it's all right. I mean, I listed off Sega Bass Fishing, and that kicked something off your list, right?
Mm-hmm. So what do you have for honorable mentions?
So I have Typing of the Dead, because of course.
Of course you do.
Dynamite Cop, because that game is ridiculously stupid. It's just like an arcade beat 'em up, but it is the most ridiculously extreme arcade beat 'em up ever. I mean, you have to see it to believe it. Lobster dudes, people dressed up in lobster suits, fighting you. A modern day pirate. Come on now. Is the boss. Okay, the last game I have on my honorable mentions, Choo Choo Rocket.
I've got Ready to Rumble Round 2.
I wasn't really too big into that.
I really like the arcade boxing games. I like both 1 and 2. But
I really liked how it looked. I was really impressed by how it looked back when it came out. Because, like, you know, a lot of the PlayStation games, the characters looked very blocky.
right.
And in that game, I remember it looked a lot more smooth and rounded out. And I was
Yeah.
just really impressed by how it looked. You know, I mean, it wasn't like a realistic look, but
Right.
it looked better than most PlayStation games at the time.
Afro Thunder.
Yeah. I remember one of the dudes was basically Mike Tyson. He was like a gorilla-looking dude.
I mean, I think they tried to bring that style back with like Facebreaker.
Yeah, that was a thing, but that game
The
sucked.
gameplay was awful.
Yeah,
Didn't Facebreaker have Kimbo Slice?
maybe.
I think it was that.
I know Ready to Rumble Boxing had Bill Clinton.
Yeah, and the other one, I think 2 had Michael Jackson.
Yeah. And like one of his gloves is a different color.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson is like in more Sega games than like any other celebrity. Like he was in Space Channel 5, and he did the music for Sonic 3, and he had what's it called, Moonwalker.
Oh God. Ugh.
But
Moving on. Moonwalker.
so yeah, so that's it for our favorite Sega games. Listeners, let us know what are your favorite Sega games. Send it to podcast@outofcontinuous.com. Or for the one person that's watching right now live, type in the chat, please. I see that it says one person's watching, so type in the chat. So anyways, let's get into something else called DreamHost. They're a web service. They offer unlimited storage, unlimited bandwidth, user-friendly interface. They're also optimized to use content managers such as WordPress and many more features. All that just for $8.95 US a month. If you use the promo code AVContinues or way the setup fee, get your free domain registration. You know, that's a better deal than the Steam sale going on right now because it actually works. Quick announcements. iTunes, we could use some more iTunes reviews. If you want to help out the show, one of the single most helpful things you could do for the show is to leave an iTunes review. And, yeah, we haven't had an iTunes review in like 2 years. So please leave an iTunes review if you can. If you can't leave an iTunes review and still want to help out the show, you can do so by sharing the podcast on social media such as Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, any social media that you want to use. Also, if you use Google Play Music, we're on there. Subscribe to us on there. And yeah, bam. So let's get into the news. And time to screen share wherever the news is at. All right. Screen share. Bam.
Boom.
All right. Boom. All right. So let's talk about this game called Death Stranding by Mr. Kojima, who is a good friend of the show.
Good friend of the show.
Yep. Good friend of the show, Kojima. Man, I'm running out of throat. So, anyways, he says that the trailer is representative of the final game and it isn't a dig on Konami. Like a lot of people, like I mentioned on the podcast last week, that there's like a speculation that it's supposed to be a dig on Konami because he wakes up with like handcuff and there's a baby and the baby is taken away from him and he has handprints all over him and whatever. So he says no, it's not. And also the trailer, it's representative of the game, not as, I don't think as he means as far as like graphically, but as far as like the themes, because he mentions that there are like dead whales and dead fish and stuff like that that will be in the game, and Norman Reedus will be in the game, and yeah, and he also says that the game is like basically not even in production yet. So basically, they whipped up this trailer without even having any.
2025.
What's that?
2025.
2025. Yep. Sure. Let's go with it. You heard it here first. 2025. In 9 years. No, it won't take 9 years. I'll guess. I'm gonna guess 2020. At the latest, it'll be 2020.
Yeah.
That's my guess. Give him a solid 4 years. So yeah. Yeah, I don't think you have anything to say, do you?
No. I mean, there's not really much to go off of, so
Yeah. It's a weird trailer.
Yep. But it's Kojima, so go figure.
Let's talk about some Mass Effect.
Woohoo!
So, Mass Effect Andromeda developer BioWare has confirmed that the ending for Mass Effect 3 will not have much of an impact on Andromeda, because there's like, different endings, whether you take control of the Reapers or whatever. So
Right.
they're not really gonna mention that, in case you do take over the Reapers or you don't take over the Reapers. Was it Reapers or Reavers? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
I think it was Reapers with a P.
I think so too, but
oh, it's right. Yeah, it's Reapers. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. They don't want that to have much of an impact on the story. There will be a connection, though. They will mention a few things, but for the most part, they say that they want this to be its own standalone story. So it sounds like it's going to be, brand new characters. No, very little connection at all. You won't need to play Mass Effect 1 through 3 to, get what's going on. They want to have a clean slate, and that's why it's going to be in a totally different galaxy and its own story. Plus, I mean, with the abomination of that ending, why would you want to have any connection at all with that? Come on now, come on. So it sounds promising to me. So yeah. Let's move on. You have anything else you want to say?
No, I agree. I mean, with as big a deal as everybody made the ending to 3, they're smart distancing themselves from it and not having a real connection to it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I mean.
All right, let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
So, Epic Games, they are suing a hacker who his name is Robin Krebich, who is in Germany. And basically, this person made what he considers, what do you call it, the ultimate hack, or the ultimate. He advertised the hack to be the world's most powerful hack for Paragon. So Paragon being their MOBA that Epic Games is working on. Mm-hmm. It's like from a third-person point of view, kind of like a shooter, but it doesn't play like a shooter at all. It's not like Monday Night Combat, which plays like a shooter. It just has the camera angle of a shooter, mm-hmm. but it's very much a MOBA. But anyway, so this game isn't even out yet. It's like they've only been doing betas. And he has the world's most powerful hack for it, which basically this guy says you can customize it to the point where you'll still win, but you won't make it obvious that you are hacking. And like he says as aimbot and whatever, all sorts of stuff. Play legit like a pro. Well, like if you're playing with the cheats, you're not playing legit. Come on now. But yeah, so they are suing this guy because they're pretty much saying that he has done like so much damage to their game at this point. And although this update says that Epic has responded to GameSpot's request for comment, saying at this time Epic cannot comment on ongoing litigation, so they can't really say anything official on it. But it sounds like they are actually doing it, and it's like on one hand, can they really sue somebody for making a hack for a game? But on the other hand, like this guy's a scumbag. Why you want to ruin a game like that? Come on now. Like, I just despise people who go online on, competitive multiplayer games and use cheats, or like what's worse is when they promote cheats.
Right.
Like I remember playing a game and the guy was obviously using aimbot. He was playing a sniper and like killing everybody, and like his name was like aimbot.com, something like that. It wasn't that specifically, but it was basically along the lines of that. Yeah, that was the guy's username. And I'm like, why do you want to ruin the game like this? This isn't fun. Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah, I mean, even the people that are using the aimbot, how can they be having so much fun when it's not even them doing anything?
yeah,
I don't understand. Oh, my stats are better than yours. Nanny boo boo, stick your head and do. But it's just what? That's childish.
I think part of the joy is from making an unpleasant experience for everyone else.
Oh yeah, people.
Like they're just trolls.
So they ain't get a life.
Yeah, exactly. If that's what you take joy out of, then you need to like seriously reconsider your life.
Everything.
Yeah, everything. So I don't really have too much else to say about this. Do you?
No.
Let's move on. Let's talk about Spider-Man PS4. Hashtag Spider-Man PS4. They say that the trailer that they showed off for E3 last week, it was in game, and it was not it was not running on the PlayStation Neo. It was on a regular PlayStation 4. So I think that's pretty cool because like the trailer was really impressive looking. It had a lot of physics going on. Like in one of the scenes in the trailer, I think it was like a cafe or something like that. There's some tables moving around and a bunch of stuff that's on the tables moving around as well. It just looked really good. So they Insomniac Games, they're obviously getting a good grasp on what they can do with the PlayStation hardware. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. You have anything to say?
No. I mean, we'll see more when it comes out.
Of course. Let's talk about some angry dads of war.
Yeah.
God of War PS4. It will not have multiplayer.
Good.
Unlike
garbage.
Unlike the Jewel God of War Ascension.
Ascension was garbage.
Unlike that game, it will not include multiplayer. It also won't be Kratos' last game. They mentioned, well, Ali was talking about how the game is open world last week, and I was like, "Are you sure?" And yeah, it is not open world. The director pretty much says that it's not open world. It is going to be more like, the Tomb or Lara Croft games, or sorry, Tomb Raider, the new Tomb Raider games,
Right.
where it is, kind of
More open, but not an open world.
yeah, it's not an open world, but it's like a Metroidvania, kind of like Batman Arkham Asylum,
Yeah.
and yeah. So they said that it won't be Kratos' last game. So it sounds like they're gonna try to build more on this new God of War universe. The whole Norse God of War, and it'll take place after God of War 3. I mean, obviously, Kratos looks older,
Obviously.
and they want to do a lot more on building the character of Kratos, because Kratos was just angry,
All the time.
and it's not the same voice actor as who they had before, T.C. Carson. It's not him. They will be taken over by Stargate SG-1 actor Christopher Judge. Not really too familiar with this dude. Let's look at Christopher Judge real quick.
Bing.
No clue who this guy is.
No clue.
No clue.
No idea.
No clue. All right. Moving on.
Yep.
So let's talk about some Mighty Number 9.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So have you got around to playing it yet?
Nope.
Let's just figure, might as well ask since your roommate has it.
Nope. I was gonna start and I was like, oh wait, I got a podcast to record. Yeah. Let's record. Let's do this all in one take.
Yep. One solid take. No technical difficulties at all.
None. It's smooth. As smooth as my face.
Whoa.
Yeah. Smooth.
So Kaji Inafune, he pretty much owns up to all the problems with the game. Though where I think this is the article. This one's better because this one mentions that there's probably some issues with the translator adding his own commentary. But pretty much it sounds like Inafune, he owned up to the issues, and he mentions that he mentions that the 4 million isn't that they got from the crowdfunding isn't all the money that they had. They got more money from somewhere else. I'm assuming maybe Deep Silver, maybe.
Yeah, that's who I'm guessing because they're the publisher.
And he did mention that when he worked on games with Capcom, Capcom would basically outsource the
Porting.
Yeah, the porting to some porting houses. So there was issues with them working on 11, well, I think it was 11 different versions of the game.
Yeah.
And that might have caused some issues with like the frame rate, the frame rate and the first of all, the graphics aren't even that good to begin with.
No.
It looks like a PS2 game.
Yeah.
And despite the graphics not being good looking, it has very bad frame rate issues, and that might have been the cause of it. But yeah, at least he's owning up. He's not saying, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with the game," and yeah, but still, sounds like there is some very negative experiences coming out of this game?
I'll get around to playing it eventually.
I mean, I was looking at the reviews, and the average is like around 5 out of 10, which, let's be real, that's pretty much the average review for a bad game that's not completely broken.
Right.
Because once you get to like 4 out of 10 or 3 out of 10, then the game is, those games are usually like the busted ones that are like just completely broke. And so it sounds like this one's not broke, but bad.
Right.
So that's unfortunate. I mean, I'm not cheering that's bad. You know, I don't want games to be bad, but
Right.
that's disappointing.
I mean, and on the other hand, I think that it would be hard for this game to meet expectations that were behind it. Just the same thing with Shenmue 3. You know what I mean? It's going to be hard to reach those expectations of, you know, this is the guy that made Mega Man. Let's have him make a Mega Man that's not Mega Man. And let's make Shenmue 3. You know what I mean?
Shenmue 3 is going to beat expectations.
It's going to be hard for them to meet those expectations of all the fans on the fanboys and all that. It's going to be hard for them to do it. Not saying that it's a good game. You know, I haven't played it, so I have no opinion on it whatsoever. But I mean, at least that you know, he's owning up to the problems. He's owning them. Don't know.
All right, let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
So Phil Spencer, he was on the Giants Bombcast. I was actually listening to this a few days ago, and he mentions that the Microsoft games like Quantum Break, they're only on the Windows 10 store right now, but he says that their games will definitely be back on Steam eventually. You know, he basically says that Steam is doing pretty well for what they're doing, except for when they launch a sale. Man, is it still down? It probably is.
Probably.
But he says that they're doing pretty well, and it's not like the Steam store is hurting without having Quantum Break on there. But he says that eventually they will start putting their games back on Steam. And I mean, to be fair, they gotta build their they gotta have some incentives behind their Windows 10 store somehow.
Right.
And
they have to build up their own service before they just give their first party stuff away.
Yeah, so it sounds like he doesn't want them to be like Origin, where
it's exclusively on there.
Yeah. But he says, hey, we'll eventually put the stuff back on Steam. So yeah. Also, like during this exact same interview, he mentioned that the reason why they announced Project Scorpio, and he was like, well, he was pretty frank with it. He said that information on Scorpio leaked, and he would rather be the one to announce that information himself rather than let the leak go around and people build speculation on that.
Right.
So he would rather control the information himself than just let the leak go around. So he got criticized for announcing that early, while Sony, on the other hand, everybody basically knows that the Neo exists, but Sony has not announced it yet because they want to wait. And he's like, no, there's no reason to wait. It's already leaked.
Yeah.
So, I like the fact that Phil Spencer, he's straightforward and he wants to stay honest with the consumers.
Yeah.
So move on.
Yep.
Let's talk about that Warcraft movie.
What?
You watched it, right?
No.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, I didn't either.
Good.
Why?
Oh.
So, I mean, like, this article is about how much money the movie has been making. It's not, about how good the movie is or anything like that. It's just about how well it's doing. And apparently it is the best, the top grossing video game movie at the moment. And mainly because, it's doing so well, like in China. I mean, it's doing a lot better in other regions than this region. But it's definitely gotten to the point where it makes sense for a sequel. That's how much money they've made.
Yeah.
It won't make sense for them to not make a sequel. With that said, from what I heard about the reviews, it sounds like the movie is enjoyed mainly by people who are very deep into the Warcraft lore. They've played a lot of the games, including the original RTS game.
Mm-hmm.
People who are very familiar with the lore enjoy the movie the most. People who are somewhat familiar with the lore are lost a little bit. So me, who is very unfamiliar with the lore, I'm pretty sure I'll be extremely lost.
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
Like, the only thing I know about the lore is from what I know about the Hearthstone game. So I'd say that's probably like not even 1% of the lore.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's kind of disappointing that they made a game. I mean, sorry, a movie that's specifically for the most hardcore fans.
Yeah.
You'd expect the movie to be a little bit more broad, for a more broader audience. But I don't know. Maybe the next movie they'll get it better. Make it more appealing for a broader audience in this next movie.
Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows?
We'll see. But good for them for making bank on the movie. I mean, I do hear that this is like some of the best CGI in a movie. Like, they say that it looks incredible, much better looking than how it looked in the trailers. But yeah. Anything else you want to add?
No.
Let's talk about something that's, well, this isn't video game related, but it has kind of some video game relation. Talk about that new Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Homecoming. Now you're thinking, oh, this isn't video game related. Now let me finish. We have Michael Mando, who was the actor who played Voss from Far Cry 3. Have I ever told you the definition of insanity?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So, Michael Mando, excellent actor. He did an excellent performance of Voss both in the game and in the live action Far Cry promo videos. He will be in Spider-Man Homecoming. Doesn't say what his character will be, but I think he's an excellent actor, and this is this I'm excited. I think this is very good news to hear that he's gonna be in that movie. It does mention that he was in Better Call Saul, which I have not watched at all. Have you watched any of that?
Nope.
Any interest in that?
Oh, Better Call Saul? Not
Yeah.
really. I watched 2 seasons of Breaking Bad, and then I lost interest.
But yeah, I think this is kind of cool. You know, hearing that he's gonna be in the movie, you know, alongside Robert Downey Jr., who's probably gonna be there for one scene.
Probably.
Michael Keaton, who's gonna be the bad guy. People think he's gonna be Vulture. And Donald Glover and Marissa Tomei and what's the guy's name again? Tom Holland. So yeah, Spider-Man: Homecoming sounds like it's gonna be pretty dope.
Dope.
Pretty dope, homie.
Dope.
So let's wrap stuff up. Let's wrap it up. We have no listener feedback this week. If you have any listener feedback, write in to podcast@advocateteams.com. Let us know your comments, your questions, your thoughts, your dreams. Favorite Dreamcast game. Podcast@advocateteams.com. Haven't been doing much Twitch streaming lately, though I have been putting gameplay videos up on the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/continues. Going to definitely have some more gameplay videos up soon. Let's wrap it up. If you enjoy what you've been hearing, you can support us by liking us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, leave an iTunes review. You can contact by email. That's podcast@continues.com. You can subscribe to the Google Play music and you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/continues. All those things I mentioned, they're on the website. That's www.advocateteams.com. You can give me a tweet. I'm at SayedStafa. That's at SayedStafa. And Adam, do you have a Twitter that you want to share?
Sure, I am at Iron Headbutt. IronHeadButt.
I'd like to thank my guest host for joining me today with no technical difficulties at all. Adam.
None. As smooth as my face.
And with that said, I'm your host, Stafa. See you guys later, and enjoy that Steam sale.
Yay.
Yep.
Peace.